in last year's pilots out. We had a growth factor from the assessments, was up 1.0126%. Capital exclusions, this is the building aid, the difference in building aid we get from the state and the debt service that we're paying off to the year, both principal and interest. And our tax levy that we could go up was an even 2%. This is an anomaly. Usually it's somewhere off of the 2% because it's not an exact calculation. Sources of revenue, we have four major sources: fund balance, state aid, tax levy, and miscellaneous revenues. Tax levies, we're going to be up about $128,000, and this is the difference between a pilot, a payment in lieu of taxes that is coming off of the assessment, and is going onto the assessment roll. We're up in state aid to $150 million, and that's roughly about 56% of our revenue coming into the district. State aid, these are the numbers after the legislation had gone through. State aid increases about $5.5 million over last year, a nice increase from the state. Miscellaneous revenues includes our pilots, payments in lieu of taxes, interest and penalties, our utility tax, reimbursables during the year, money that we get back for items that we paid for in the previous year. Interfund transfers is the money that comes in from our grants and other things for our administrative fees. And then we have about $1 million in miscellaneous revenues that come in. Total about $6.2 million. We have a three-part budget that we have to put out. There's the administrative part, which is the central administration, your principals. It's the items that go on behind the scene. Programs are the biggest part. The teaching program, our special education, sports, extracurricular activities, and even our transportation is included in the program. Capital, buildings and grounds, custodial, plus the bonds payments that we're making back for all the debt that we have for our building part. As you see, most of the money goes towards the program part, where almost 80% of our budget goes into the program. On the budget vote, which is May 16th, polls are open noon to 9. There'll be two propositions: the school district budget, $267,828,000, plus the library budget for $5.4 million. And then also you'll be able to vote for 3 school board members. They're listed in the order that they're on the ballot, and the 2 ayes are the 2 incumbent candidates. Question? Declare it with no questions, or declare community session closed.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to start the meeting. We're going to be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Howard.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Howard. Mr. Johnston. Ms. Beneo. Here. Mr. Menuda. Ms. Prokop. Here. Mr. Stridiron. Here. Mr. Tabano. Ms. Yamito.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby recesses into executive session for the following purpose: matter being confidential under FERPA, employment history of particular individuals, matters leading to the employment of particular individuals, the review of programs and placements of students with disability, and collective bargaining under the Taylor Law, NTA, CSEA, NASA, and to obtain advice from legal counsel. I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Howard.
Yes.
Mr. Johnston.
Yes.
Ms. Beneo.
Yes.
Ms. Prokop.
Yes.
Mr. Stridiron.
Yes.
We will return at 6:50.
The school district budget for the 2017-18 year open. We started with the tax levy. The tax cap calculation we've done for the last 7 or 8 years. It's a very simple, complicated, 8-step process. We started with last year's tax levy. The growth factor comes from ORS, the Office of Real Property Tax Service out of the state of New York. Pilots are the payments in lieu of taxes. We add this year's, down the bottom we subtract last year's. The capital exclusions is the difference between building aid and the debt service that we're paying for the year. This year here, and the allowable growth factor is CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which was 1.26%. This year, our calculation came out to an even 2%. This is what the district could go up and be at the tax cap. And this year here, we are not going to exceed the amount. In fact, we are only going to be $128,000 over last year. Okay, continuing on, we have sources of revenue.
Is that a shoulder button on the remote?
There we go. Sources of revenue. This year here we have 4 sources. The board allowed $500,000 of fund balance. This is leftover funds from the previous years. State aid, which is the largest part of our budget, $150 million. Thank you to the legislature for adding $5.5 million this year. We have the tax levy, which is the local share. And then we have miscellaneous revenues, which we'll explain a little bit later. State aid, the difference between 16-17 and 17-18 is $5.5 million. We're getting roughly $150 million in state aid to the district. Miscellaneous revenues is the pilots we talked about earlier, the payments in lieu of taxes, interest and penalties on the tax collections that we do get, utility tax, reimbursements for items that we paid for in the previous year, interfund transfers, money coming in from our grants for our administrative component of the budget, and miscellaneous, all the different money that we collect from different agencies throughout the year. We have to show it by law in the 3-part budget. There's 3 parts: administration, program, and capital. In the administration, this is my department: payroll, all the back-end businesses, the superintendent, the deputy superintendent, your principals, anybody that's in the administration part of it. Roughly about 10% of the budget is tied up in that. Program, the largest part, is our general ed, special education, our sports, extracurricular activities, including our busing, is all in the program. We spend almost 80% of the budget that we collect on the programs, which is a very good percentage to be at. Capital is building maintenance, custodial, and the debt service that we paid for past building projects. Coming up on May 16th, which is the budget vote, polls are open from noon till 9. There'll be 2 propositions: the school district budget for $267,828,000, the library budget for about $5.4 million, static from the year previous, and you'll be able to vote for 3 of the 5 people running for board. They're listed in the order that they're on the ballot, and the ayes are the incumbent. At this time, I will field any questions from the public. And seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kern.
Okay. We're going to move on to the superintendent, Dr. Padilla.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, everyone. We're going to start off this evening with several recognitions, and the first being our solar car and the tremendous work that they're doing. You guys can just turn the podium.
Members of the board, Dr. Padilla, thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Matt Schweitzer. I'm the head advisor for the Concept Vehicle Racing Team. These are the other advisors, Ms. Polakos, Mr. Zarnecki, and Mr. Bundor. If anybody hasn't heard, on Sunday, April 30th, our students from the NFA came in 3rd place at the Shelley Hill Marathon, and this qualified us to go represent Newburgh in the World Championship in London again. And this is our 2nd year in a row. We do have a short video. now, if John, if you could play that now, if you have hearing aids or anything, I'd recommend turning them down.
couldn't get home. So I decided I'm retired, I'm not doing nothing, just sitting around bored. So I said, no problem, I got a truck, I'll take them home, you know. I don't mind being on the road. As my family would tell you, I'm always on the road. I don't mind driving, so it's just something to do. And if I can help somebody out, just pay it forward, as they say.
So the club that we have is strictly after school, but we did this year, we incorporated it into a lot of our classes, and we had a lot of our students work on it. The club grown exponentially. It was over 75 students participating in this club. And it's for any student that's really interested in real-world engineering experiences within the design, fabrication, and the automotive field. Students work directly with the CTE teachers within the high school, such as engineering, automotive technology, welding, auto body, video production, and even the scientists were involved in this project. And these opportunities are available for anybody who's interested in these electives. I'd like to just call a few seniors up just to be recognized for their achievements. Adolfo, Jordan, Jasmine, Elias, you guys want to come up? I want them to just say what they learned in CTE and what they plan to do in the future.
Hello, my name is Adolfo Gomez. I'm a senior at NFA. And so I've been on the team for 4 years. And so what I've really learned is how to work together with a lot of people and cooperate and make such an envisioned project work out. And I plan on doing chemical engineering coming out of NFA.
I plan on going into chemical engineering. And I love how the club brings all these different departments together to accomplish one goal.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Kaur. I'm also doing chemical engineering after high school, and my favorite part about this club is all the collaboration that the students get to do with each other, and just the learning experience is so wonderful.
Hi, my name is George Wright, and my favorite part of the club is how we just all come together and think of really creative solutions to unordinary problems. And I'm going to go study aerospace engineering.
Hi, my name is Elena King, and I've been on this team for 3 years now, and the most important thing that it's taught me is that teamwork is very important. I can honestly say now that teamwork does make the dream work, because going to London is a dream for all of us young high school students right now. And I will be going to Drexel University to study business entrepreneurship and innovation.
Hi, my name is Katie Gravella. I've been on the team for 3 years. My favorite part of the club was becoming more confident in my abilities and expressing my ideas better, especially as a woman who will be going to the STEM field. Next year I'm going to MIT and I'll be studying computational biology.
My name is Jared Girl. I've been on the team 2 years. I'm a senior, and I'm going to school for video production. Last year I joined the team and went to Detroit. Luckily went to Detroit with the team and recorded everything. This wasn't my work that was up there. That was the teacher's office. I put it in mine. But it really helped me get some real world experience, especially with cars. I didn't know anything about cars when I first joined, but now I can work on brakes and know how to make carbon fiber and just really real world experience.
Hi, I'm Sean Wax, and I've been on the team 3 years. My favorite part of this team was just working together, from just making the first design of the body and then just working to actually have it a final product and then getting to race in Detroit. I'll be studying computer science next year.
One thing that they didn't mention was, I really like to see how the younger kids grow up and then they really become the leaders, and the younger generation looks up to them and really can ask for them for advice and anything like that. I would like to acknowledge my colleague Sar Bundor for his altruistic abilities. When he was in Detroit, his truck got stolen, and he was able to hold himself together, be positive, and really lead for the students. And he didn't let it get anybody down. He was like, I don't want to hear about it. Let's just get this job done. And I just want to acknowledge him for that. So we are going to London. We're trying to raise a lot of money. We're going to be sending 14 students. And we kind of calculated that it's going to be about $1,000 a student. So we're looking for the community to come together. We do have a GoFundMe set up right now. We also have a fundraiser on Saturday at the Elks Lodge. If anybody would be willing to donate some items to raffle off. Or if anybody knows any businesses that would want to sponsor our team as well, we're going to be putting them on the car. And I'd like to, next year, we're going to change our diesel car to an urban concept. So next year, we're not going to be sending one car to London, we're going to be sending 2 cars to London. All right? So here at NFA, our students are making global changes to create a better future for everybody. I want to thank everybody for having us tonight, and looking forward to the trip experience in London.
Again, I'm sorry about your car. The other day he was telling me the story and I just felt really bad. But awesome that you guys connected with a community member who assisted. And so if you have his name, address, I'd like to just send something on behalf of the district for supporting you guys and the entire team.
Yeah, absolutely.
The video was awesome, really captured the experience. I almost felt like I was there, and just your facial expressions said it all. I got one critique. You gotta get some blue and gold on that car somewhere. Thank you. And let's connect so we can talk about what still is needed, and I can kind of talk to the board and see what we can do to support.
Yeah, we always appreciate your help and, everything you guys do for us. We really, like you said, this year was great with the students. They came together and it really showed a lot of growth. Within just 1 year, we were just astonished. So we really do appreciate everyone's help and the community, of course.
All right, so let's try to connect tomorrow or Thursday.
Sure.
All right. Thank you again and congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Manel, what was that? You want me to go to London with them? Sure. My pleasure. So, again, thank you. And we look forward to the results in London. We'll be following the team very closely. Next I'm going to have is Trish Brown. If you can come to the mic, we're going to recognize one of our music leaders.
My name is Trish Brown, and I'm Director of Performing Arts from Church Arts Center. And tonight, we are recognizing Ms. Carmen Flynn for her perseverance and dedication in meeting for students. Most recently, Ms. Flynn facilitated the development of special aesthetic, which makes it possible for one of our exceptional learners to participate in the string instrumental program. The challenge presenting itself was that the student performed on the left hand, which is traditionally the hand used for fingering notes on the violin, while the right hand holds both. Ms. Flynn worked with the family, colleagues in the music, art, exceptional learners, and ENL departments, as well as Penn State University, to have a one-of-a-kind device created at no cost to the family. Faith now uses her left hand to bow and her right hand to finger the notes as she learns how to play the violin. Additionally, Ms. Flynn nominated Guadalupe to receive an Orange County Youth Awards called the Spirit Success. Guadalupe has been chosen and will be receiving this award at an attendant luncheon in June with her family, Ms. Flynn and Mr. Lopez, the principal of the school. Although this is just one of many examples where our teachers go above and beyond, it truly does demonstrate our vision through the work of all we will achieve in decent excellence. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Carmen Flynn.
Hopefully I'll speak loud enough so everyone can hear me. Guadalupe originally came to me in 4th grade and told me she wanted to play, and I said, okay, we'll figure it out and make it work. And it took me 2 years to figure it out, but through the work of all, it was a collaborative effort. I reached out to a student team at Penn State, and they designed this device, and it fits over her left arm so that she can indeed play the violin. It's a pretty cool. as Ms. Brown said, normally you hold the instrument with your left hand and you finger the notes with your left hand. So I reversed the strings on the violin so that she'd be able to play.
Real good example of our vision at work.
And she was just connecting with Mrs. Spicer to get
A set print of it made from the 3D printer, because it's a 3D printed device. No, it's a work in progress, so no, not yet. Thank you.
So next up, we're going to recognize some student leaders. And so each board meeting, we take time out, very precious time, to recognize our scholars, and specifically around the value of leadership. And so tonight, we're going to be recognizing Meadow Hill. I did see Miss Terry Lucas. If you can come on up and just give the board a brief overview of the kind of leadership work that the Student Advisory Council at Meadow Hill has been engaged in, and then we'd like to recognize them.
I don't know how you follow those cool things, but particularly the car. Turn up your hearing aids now. It is my pleasure to recognize the students of Meadow Hill School from our student advisory team. They are a thoughtful and caring group of students with a lot of and varying ideas and thoughts about things. At the beginning, when they came into the student advisory team, they were shy. They didn't want to speak. But once they got over that, which didn't take very long, they developed into this group of students who had a lot to say. And we were happy that they were willing to share their ideas. These are just a few, not all, a few of the things that they shared, accomplished, and were a part of. Our Halloween parade for grades K through 2, our annual Veterans Breakfast, our 3 Spirit Weeks, our Culture Night, community events at our local senior citizen centers, reading retreat, NECSD Day plans, which included our brand new NECSD Day Olympic events, senior prom for our senior citizens, our annual talent show, and the overall culture of the building and what they liked, what they wanted to see changed, and what they wanted to see implemented next year. And I just have to say that their ideas and thoughts and sharings were exciting and brought new excitement to us and to the building as well. It actually got to be touchy about the building. And one week we had to miss because of a snow day. And they, I'll say it this way, they hounded us down, wanting to know when the next meeting was going to be, because they had so many things they wanted to share. So on behalf of Mr. Prakash, Mrs. Russell, and myself, we are happy to have worked with you all year long. We are excited for your enthusiasm and look forward to next year. And these are our students. I'm not sure who's here, but Jake Cross, Jonathan Siglio, Justin Torres, Mark Rickers, Kiswayne Howell.
So if you hear your name, come on up.
Now they're going to be shy again. Tori Howerton. Karen Lowe. Jessica Velez. Mark Garcia, and Sydney Williams.
So I hope.
So I hope you've read the newspapers over the past year and will join me in recognizing that as a district, we've made a lot of improvements in the area of food services. And so I'm going to ask our food service director to come on up and recognize the heroes behind the scene in order for districts to have the fourth best program in the country. That's the result of a lot of people. And so we're going to recognize a few tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Today we're here to recognize our school nutrition professionals, who we lovingly refer to as our lunch heroes. It's kind of an understatement, if you will, because our lunch heroes are also breakfast heroes. We have 189 dedicated individuals employed in our food service department here in Newburgh and Large City School District. On an average day, those are the numbers of breakfasts and lunches they prepare across the district. In the summer, we also have a team of dedicated individuals who sweat it out in the kitchens and at the pool, in the library, and in the school sites, and serve our kids breakfast and lunch wherever they're at. Our numbers for summer of 2016 were a huge increase over the previous summer, and this summer we are looking for additional innovative ways to reach our kids to make sure that they have adequate nutrition in the summer as well. And then, so everyone jokes with me every time I present and every time I speak about our department and how awesome our staff is, I put out the numbers. So what are the numbers, Caitlin? What are we going to do this year, Caitlin? That's a projection, but right now we're looking at serving over 1.3 million lunches this year, which is a dramatic increase over last year. It's about 6% higher than last year. And that's even with snow days. So we're very excited about that. And all of those numbers, all of those meals would not be able to reach our children without the dedication and commitment of the wonderful individuals employed in our departments. So here are a few pictures of the people that I actually can get in front of a camera. Most of our lunch heroes prefer to be behind the scenes, but we do like to try to get them together and showcase how their smiles, their dedication, and their efforts for our kids. You know, these ladies, mostly ladies, but we do have about 4 men in the department, greet and meet all of our students every single day, multiple times a day. And they have such an impact because those smiles and those warm meals and loving comments go so far with our kids. And you know, I think all of you, if you think back to your school experience, you could think of a lunch lady or school food dude that really has impacted your life. And you know, we want to thank all of our individuals in the department for all they do to go above and beyond for our kids and make sure that they are properly fed and ready to learn. So, thank you. Enjoy. I have some pins if you want to come on. Come on up. Won't lie.
Okay, and the last part of my section, Madam President, will be a workshop topic on talent development. And so this is an update from Ms. Felice.
Good evening, everyone. Madam President, board members. This evening, we'd like to share with you an update on talent development which occurs in grades K through 8. Why do we need talent development? Our district's talent development initiative is driven by two basic needs, which are directly aligned with Vision 2020, the district's 5-year strategic blueprint. These needs are: 1, the need to prepare all students for academic and personal success every day, and 2, the need to generate new rigorous opportunities for those students who require more challenge. Although the original charge was to create a program for gifted and talented students only, our steering committee, which is comprised of board members, central and school-based administrators, teachers, parents, and community members, became quickly aware that what we needed in our district was much more. Therefore, we set out to achieve 3 major goals. The most important of all being to afford students different opportunities because they all learn differently and have different talents. To accomplish these goals, we recognize that talent development for students would require 2 tiers of change. On one level, we agreed that our district needs to challenge all students in grades K to 8 with increased academic rigor. So in all classrooms, 4 shifts were required, with the most important one being clearer expectations. In addition, we recognize the need to provide additional supports to students who require a little extra. Therefore, we have kept the Unlimited Horizons program to service students in grades 2 to 5 this year, and as part of the 6-year plan introduced last spring, we began to phase out the traditional honors program in the middle school grades while phasing in accelerated coursework for math and science only. So what have we in fact accomplished this year? This year we have accomplished steady implementation of the items highlighted in red. We have made strides with the implementation of technology supports for our K-2 students. We have also begun creating awareness and planning of project-based units in grades 3 through 5, although C&I recognizes that we must make more dedicated efforts to support all teachers with project-based learning and differentiation. With regard to level 2 planning, we're planning summer opportunities to support our high potential learners in developing their STEM and arts talents. We were unable to achieve level 2 deeper challenge during the school year. We have also sustained the Unlimited Horizons program in grades 2 to 5, and we have begun the phasing in of accelerated coursework in the middle grades. That's our Tier 3 work. Our most recent enrollment figures indicate that we have 41 students in grade 6 accelerated math and 34 students in accelerated science at Heritage, 24 students in grade 6 accelerated math, and 24 students in accelerated science at South Middle School, and 20 students in grade 6 accelerated math, and 10 students in accelerated science at Temple Hill Academy. Unfortunately, we did not have enough students to meet the matrix eligibility criteria to run accelerated classes at Meadow Hill School this year. Our plan is to gauge the effectiveness of these new courses by evaluating them through item skills analyses of our finals at the end of the school year and our iReady math outcomes at end of year. Whereas this year we began with only grade 6 accelerated math and science classes, we expect to phase in accelerated courses in math, science, social studies, foundation art, and world languages by the 2021-22 school year. As a district, we have kept to most of our initial district commitments to support teachers as well and their talent development. We've established partnerships with Ulster BOCES and PNW BOCES in order to fortify both professional development and resources for science, social studies, and overall writing instruction to ensure that the new state standards in social studies, science, and most recently ELA and math, which are still in draft form, are included in our forward planning of units and lessons. We've launched the implementation of a K-12 interdisciplinary literacy framework, and we've instituted a lab site approach to professional learning beginning in grade 3 this year. Grade 3 representatives are from Horizons, Temple Hill, Gardnertown, GAMS, New Windsor School, Meadow Hill, and Balmville. All of these schools have participated in school visits during which they do live instruction and then discuss their learning and next steps. We have many next steps ourselves as a district. We have to continue to work on our matrices so that we include student input, teacher input, and parent input to really get to know students, their needs, and their talents as we make decisions on eligibility for next year's classes. These are in process. We're looking to bolster our Unlimited Horizons program, rebranding, redefining it, and ensuring that teachers moving forward are either enrolled in a certification program for G&T certification or that they've achieved this certification. The program will be expanded so it runs K through 5. We're looking to create summer professional development sessions to support project-based learning and differentiation that truly supports our high flyers. We are currently revising all of our scope and sequence guidance documents so that we have thematic units in K-5 that are interdisciplinary and underpinned by the literacy framework. And we're also looking to make sure that in our grade 6 and grade 7 science and math scope and sequence guidance documents, we have multi-tiered curriculum. Finally, we continue to plan team visits outside of the district, both to local school districts and New York City, to learn more, to research, and to continue to get better at what we do. I'd like to leave you with a quote. There is a great myth that gifted students will be okay on their own, and it is used as a rationale for not providing services. Excellence doesn't just happen. It takes years of persistence and hard work, and those skills should be developed early in school so children aren't afraid of a challenge or of a failure. This is a quote that I believe validates our approach to this very important work. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board?
Mr. Johnson, you have a question?
Thank you. You said that one of the tenets of the program was clear expectations. I'm wondering, could you say just a little bit about how that plays out or how that applies?
So I believe that teachers across our district all have talent and they have been providing their students with clear expectations. But we as a district haven't done a good enough job of sharing what are the district expectations, particularly when it comes to literacy across the disciplines and project-based learning.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Felice. Madam President, that concludes my items.
Thank you, Dr. Padilla. We're now at the section of the agenda for public discussion and comments on agenda items. Excuse me. Please refer to the regulations regarding discussion and comments that is posted next to the sign-in sheet. Right now, we have no one signed up for public discussion on agenda items. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on agenda items? If not, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to my section. I have nothing, but I have one teeny little thing. I want to say congratulations to Ms. Ebony Green. She's been accepted into the 2017 Racial Equity Leadership Network Fellowship. Congratulations.
Speech.
We're going to move on. Don't be embarrassed. It's still all good. We're going to move on to committee reports. Curriculum Committee, Mr. Johnston.
Thank you. The Curriculum Committee met on Wednesday, April 19th. Field trip and conference trip proposals were presented. We looked at samples of the iRead books that are being proposed for purchase, and there was discussion about the process of book selection and how the materials were intended to be used in the classroom. Curriculum updates included information about the middle school final schedule, and some topics that we look forward to hearing more about in the near future include spring curriculum development, the need for an assessment tool at the pre-K level, and a magnet grant submission by the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds Committee, Ms. Prakash.
Yes, we met, I believe, last week. We discussed Washington Street School, going forward, what we're going to be doing with it. Also, gave you an update on their windows that I believe is complete and up to par now. Also, the upcoming NICER and fire inspections that's going to be going on in the district this month. Summer workers that are going to be coming, college workers that are going to be coming in and helping out in the Building and Grounds Department. Also, we discussed the process of the road that's going to be going by Heritage Middle School for a development that's behind it, what they have to, what the people putting in the road have to go through the process that they hadn't gone through. So we're making sure that everything is done on the up and up with that. Central Hudson's request to purchase a pole near Temple Hill School. You also had an update on the GPS on the Building and Grounds vehicles and the DOT regulations for CDL licenses. And that was it for Buildings and Grounds. And we had a personnel meeting, very short, and one of the things is the abolishment of a tech ed position and creation of a CTE personal trainer assistant teacher. Also approval of RISE positions, and that was basically it for that meeting.
Thank you. Exceptional Learners Committee, Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Madam President. We met on Thursday, May 4th. We had a discussion around unified sports and the adoption of the district, working with that program. We had a discussion around the unified sports and Special Olympics. We also had a discussion in regards to the 9th grade program, in regards to the boot camp, and for the kids before they get to the high school, making them better prepared, be more successful at the high school level. We had a conversation around annual review project progress, and we also had a report from 2 of the members who attended conferences, and one of the most important strands they talked about was the social and emotional learning aspect of the conference. We talked about the Anderson sessions, number 1, and we also had a discussion around upcoming state education department reviews.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. We're going to move on to the Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Forte.
Thank you, Madam President. This evening I have one item, recommendations from the CSE and CPSE committees.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Johnston? Yes. Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Smitter? Yes. Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam President. That concludes my item.
Thank you, Mr. Forte. We're going to move on to the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Mrs. Felice.
Thank you, Madam President. We have 3 items. The first one being the resolution to approve conference requests.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Smitter? Yes. Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Item 8.2 is a resolution to approve field trip requests.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Smitter?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes. Excuse me, yes.
Item 8.3 is a resolution to authorize the superintendent to purchase iRead guided reading libraries from Houghton Mifflin Hartford for all K through 2 classes.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam President. That concludes our CNI items.
Thank you, Mrs. Felice. We're going to move on to the Assistant Superintendent for Finance, Mr. Kern.
Thank you, Madam President. Item 9.1, resolution to accept bills and reports.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes. Item 9.2, resolution to approve facility use request.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Johnston? Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes. Item 9.3, resolution to approve bids, red, French bread, rolls, and milk.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes. Madam President, that concludes the items from finance for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Kern. We're going to move on to the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Mr. McLemore.
Thank you, Madam President. On the HR agenda, items A through J, we have other professional appointments. On the professional side, we have resignation, retirement, and a leave of absence. And on the civil service side, we have appointments, a change of status, return from a leave of absence, a resignation, retirement, a termination, and former employees who have passed away.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Item 10.2 is a resolution to abolish one FTE custodian and create one FTE cleaner.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Item 10.3 is a resolution to approve SMOA with CSEA.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes.
Item 10.4 is a resolution to approve Project Hope appointments.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Item 10.5 is for your information only. It's individuals who will be coming up for tenure in the next several months. Item 10.6, I would like at this time, Madam President, to add 2 items to the agenda.
May I have a motion? May I have a motion to add item 10.6 to the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call on adding, Mr. Clerk?
Ms. Mineo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
So now we have the motion on the agenda. Would you like to read that motion, Mr. McElroy, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of Newburgh City School District adds 2 items to the agenda as presented.
Okay. This one is the resolution to revise the 2016-17 district calendar. So, I need a motion on this? Yes, I need a motion and a second.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter? Mr. Howard? Mr. Johnston? Ms. Beneo?
Yes. And now we want to add item 10.7, 10.8.
10.8.
Okay, 10.8. And so I need a motion to add this to the agenda?
Point of order, so 10.6, you added both items, so
Okay.
10.8, we just need a motion to approve.
Thank you, I'm sorry. We have a motion and a second, please?
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Stritter? Mr. Howard? Mr. Johnston? Ms. Beneo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
That concludes my items, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLemore. We're going to move to the clerk of the board, Mr. McCoy.
Thank you, Madam President. I have the approval of the minutes from the April 18th meeting.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Howard? Mr. Johnston? Ms. Beneo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter? I have the approval of the minutes from April 25th.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnston? Ms. Beneo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop? Mr. Stritter? Mr. Howard? And the approval of the minutes from May 2nd.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Questions or discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Beneo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter? Mr. Howard? Mr. Johnston? My last item is the resolution to approve student election inspectors for the May 16th, 2017 budget.
I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Mr. Stritter? Mr. Howard? Mr. Johnston? Ms. Beneo?
Yes.
That concludes my items, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. We are now at the portion of the agenda for public discussion on non-agenda items. Please refer to the procedure sheet next to the sign-in sheet. I don't think we have anybody signed up, but is there anybody from the audience who would like to address the board on non-agenda items? Thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Stritter? Mr. Howard? Mr. Johnston? Ms. Beneo?
Yes.
Ms. Prokop?
Yes.
Thank you very much.